So today I'm going to do a sort of reaction to a, I think, fairly famous lolita sort of video. So this is an old video from a British TV show called SNOG, Marry, Avoid, where they would essentially take people who look different to the norm in some way and make them what I would call a Primark bargain bin mannequin, essentially. And normally it was people who liked to do fake tan a lot and have like really blonde hair and that kind of stereotypical kind of Essex kind of style, but they also went into different alternative subcultures as well. And it's from the, I think, early 2000s, so it's not going to have aged the best, so we're going to see how it is. I managed to find a small snippet of some lolita fashion, so we're just going to react to that now. Yes, okay, let's go. Is that Milky-chan the Fawn? I think the Prince Milky-chan the Fawn. So, when was that released? Because that would maybe date the video for me. So it's probably a 2010s video then. Especially since they look like they're wearing OTT, so this is probably the 2010s. And we've got an OG, which we don't really see often, so we can... I don't know if I can judge OG fashion that well, except for... It's OG, isn't it? And here you can probably see the kind of vibe of the show, just outright calling the fashion wrong. I'm wondering if we're gonna get any Bo Peeps. You look like a child. Marie had a little lamb. You look too childish or anything. I don't know. Side note: I don't know why in society things that are feminine are necessarily considered childish. Well, I mean, I do if I did an artistic deep dive, but like in general, like why are things that are stereotypically feminine automatically seen as childish? Sounds like a bit of misogyny, if you ask me.
I am Pod. Who are you?
Is that a taxidermy? No, that's probably just a feather. This is what I get for not having any eyewear on.
Hi, I'm Emma.
And I'm Rob.
You look like Little Bo Peep meets Little Lord Fauntleroy.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so we've got Little Bo Peep for the first 5 seconds. If you've been in the Lolita community for any amount of time, that's probably one of the main things you heard. Off the top of my head, the weirdest one I think I've heard is, "Are you going to a hen party?" I don't know why I get that one. So I suppose from an international audience, it's when you're gonna get married and you have that party before, and you have like a hen do for the brides and a stag do for the grooms, whatever. And the stereotypical outfit is like a pink tutu, some sort of t-shirt saying blah de blah's wedding or blah de blah hen do, and they're just loud and girlish and like woo. Besides wearing a pink tutu, I can't really see the correlation. Besides, perhaps it's very feminine fashion, but like it's obviously costumey and cheap because it's not designed to be worn beyond that day. So I don't know. I just always find that one really funny because like the difference in quality is just night and day because one's literally a costume and one is designed to be worn for years. But again, not everyone is the fashion nerd like me and cares about that.
What in Pod's name are you wearing?
This is Sweet Lolita.
And I'm wearing Cadona, and it's basically...
Okay, so the word kodana, we don't really use that anymore. That's just really like another term for OG. OG is more commonly used now. I don't actually know why. I think kodana. So there's an idea that it came from Kobe and child, and donna, which is like the Italian word for woman. It's like a small woman, child woman, but also the idea of word for child kodomo and the idea for woman otona. So either way, there's this idea of small woman and child, woman, child, which I don't quite understand, but there might be some more cultural context I'm just not getting. And OG makes more sense because I believe OG just means prince, like princely style, and just as a descriptor that makes more sense to me. I might actually have to maybe try and find out the specifics, but they're both relevant. If you said colonnade, like it's a bit of an old term, but I know what you're on about. I don't think it's been discontinued. I mean, the word lolita is always going to be problematic, so I don't think we're going to really have much of a problem if you want to use an old term, but we usually use ouji now.
The male version of Lolita.
Yeah.
Oh, there we said it, male version of lolita. It's basically
It's
obviously clothes don't have gender, you can wear whatever, blah blah blah, in case you don't know my views on that, but generally would say it's the male version.
all about sweet prints. It's fresh and different, interesting. It's from Japan.
And they kind of were inspired by like Victorian England.
And I make some of the little bits and pieces, so
Oh, that's so cute. They make stuff so I think the explanation of the lolita is pretty good, honestly, for a mainstream audience. I'm not quite sure how television and things work, but usually they're probably told by production you need to explain what you're wearing in like a short sentence, so like they couldn't go on at length about the history and feminism and blah blah blah. And I think that's a pretty good explanation. Because I feel if you say Rococo, your average person's gonna think like a castle, or like they're not gonna really know what that means. And if you say Victorian England, people kind of get like pea soup as a kind of thing. I love the accessories. I have a friend who's very like crafty and makes accessories, but I'm more of a illustration thing. You know what? Shameless plug. I'll put some of my illustrations somewhere. That's more what I do. I do like illustration services.
it's really fun.
She made my hat.
I don't like to mention it, but she's
they made the hat. See, it's not a taxidermy bird. I just haven't got my glasses on. I remember when like small, like little top hats were the thing, and they've just gone out of fashion. But I kind of love them, but also it's just I don't know if it really suits me because they have like a fat head, like a really round face. So having this really tight accessory just looks really weird. So I'm nostalgic for small hats. I remember like Claire's had some small hats back in the day. I'm sure I bought one of them. I remember back in the day when you just couldn't get anything or any accessories. Claire's was like, oh friend, I have no idea what it's like now. As far as I know, they're just putting asbestos in makeup, so maybe it's the brand to avoid now.
wrong.
It's like a top hat, but then they shrunk it down and made it look super awesome.
Are you sure it's the hat that's at fault? Maybe your head's been inflated.
No, it hadn't, because then I'd have a big head.
Yeah, the jokes are not the funniest. But also speaking of like a head, I guess their hair's very like 2010's heartthrob like scene emo inspired, and I'm very nostalgic for that. That's just me. There wasn't really any hair trend at the time. Hair trends were wear a wig in the leisure. It was like the Choco Mints. Is it not Choco Mint? It was Choco Mint hair accessories. But it was the split wig, twin tails, just complete maximalism, lots of curls, and I didn't really meet any OGs around that time. But I don't think there really was as much in trends instead of probably just your natural hair or some sort of short wig. It was probably quite versatile, honestly. I feel because OG isn't as big as within the sort of Lolita sphere, it's a bit more fast and loose because there haven't been enough people to sort of solidify certain rules and trends, if that makes sense.
Of course, it's me who's silly.
Yes, you are.
Do you think there could be a pair of natural beauties under all that fakery?
No.
Oh yeah, one thing I didn't, I suppose, mention is the show has a focus on natural beauty, when the thing is, the natural beauty is probably wearing a lot more makeup than they're wearing now. It's like the no makeup kind of clean girl kind of thing that we're into. And I this is something I don't understand, this idea of like natural beauty, which it's very artifice of nature. It looks natural, but you have so much real makeup on. Maybe the same, not that makeup's a bad thing, but it's not like this revolutionary, I'm not wearing any makeup, I'm just my naked form. And to be honest, I don't think there's anything wrong with being an unnatural beauty or a natural beauty. You know, for some people, it's the wigs, it's the makeup that makes them them. Again, I think everyone's different. But yeah, I feel this idea of like a natural beauty, but really I'm wearing loads of makeup is just a very dated thing from this time.
No.
I think you are.
I think you look fine, dressed in anything.
I think I'm going to be sick.
I don't know.
Now that's a Britishism. Too much attraction, too much showing of people loving each other. It's quite funny because I think it is quite a stereotype that British people are prude and do not like public displays of affection and things, which to some extent is true, to be honest, because depending on what mood I'm in, if I see a couple who are doing sort of PDA, I'm like, oh, that's really nice and sweet, or I don't, I'm gonna just look the other way and get on. But I don't need to see this right now. Don't you know I'm very British and I do not need anything going on with. I don't need to see any displays of affection. We do not love each other. No. So I think there is some truth to that stereotype, but everyone is different. But it is really nice to see like just two people in love. It's just nice to see.
I think the clothes are pretty, but I'm not pretty.
Oh.
Oh, it makes me so sad that they don't think they're pretty. So I think quite a few people that I know in the lead do have insecurities. To be honest, who doesn't have an insecurity with their body? Especially anyone who survived the 2000s as I'm sure even now there's even more problems. There's like you know what social media is like. You're watching a YouTube video. I find it interesting. A lot of people do use the lead as a way to feel prettier, which I mean it's fine. I do just the same kind of thing. Sometimes when I'm not feeling that great, I'm like, oh, I just want to put a nice dress on and maybe just do my hair or something. And I think there's also the idea, which I mentioned in one of my other videos before, where you take the sort of focal point or the idea of you and your body, and it's just the dress, and the idea that focus on the dress, not on me. I do not wish to be perceived today. It is the dress. But I suppose cheesy me being sincere time. Everyone is beautiful and pretty and blah de blah. And if you feel you want to change something, just do it for the right reasons, and just do what you can to feel comfortable in your own body. But maybe look alright. I mean, I look alright. I'm sure you look alright. You know, I'm sure I wouldn't cower in fear if I saw you.
The enamel would be wearing off right about now. The pair of you look like you should be starring in a cheesy musical.
Oh, we had the music. Oh, I forgot. So one of the other jokes is, "Are you in a play?" And I forgot. Yeah, that's one thing as well. That just reminded me of that. Oh, and I remember there was this joke. It didn't happen to me, but someone was in Sweet Lolita and someone was like, "Oh, you're so sweet. You're gonna give me diabetes," or just something. You do get a few like really sweet specific jokes as well, probably because it really stands out compared to the other styles. But me, I'm usually a classic and gothic girly, so if anything, I'm just gonna scare you and look like a witch or something. So there we go.
We should make a movie pod.
If we are, then it's going to be Back to the Future. Let's see what a dose of the 21st century does for you.
I mean, they did say Back to the Future, so I guess it's like an 80s inspired look. And I mean, I said, you know, Primark bargain bin mannequin for a reason. It's very of the time, so the fashion will look dated anyway because it's about 10 or so years ago. But
What have you done to us?
I've made you look normal.
Oh, you look nice.
Oh, I remember the colored jeans being a thing. Oh, I'm gonna probably date myself. I associate a lot with second gen K-pop and Super Junior. I feel it was Super Junior or one of those K-pop bands who had like the colored jeans because it was very popular at the time. Remember when everyone wore skinny trousers because that was trendy? I'm still holding on to mine because they will come back in fashion. I do enjoy them. There's no point getting rid of them. I'm just waiting. I just feel like again they don't take into account the personality or anything when they make these shows. There's so much you could do. Like obviously like Lolita was in Sweet Lolita, very OTT, liked pink. They could have put them in like a pink skater dress or something, or a pink skater skirt. Skater skirts were like a big thing around that time. They could have put them in more feminine clothing, or if they wanted to put them in trousers, they could have put them in a pair of jeans and like a floaty sort of chiffon kind of top, or those, like, I suppose you call them milkmaid tops, don't we? Like something like this with like fun puffy sleeves or something frilly. Like, even if you're not wearing Lolita, there's ways to incorporate that just sort of sense of Lolita kind of style in just normie fashion. You don't have to go from I'm in OTT suite to I'm wearing something really severe and sort of geometric in sort of style that's nothing to do with Lolita, and it's just like, I mean, the show's aged poorly for many reasons. And I mean, the OG is just like, that's just what I like the hair. Yeah.
Oh, you look really nice.
Ugh, that's not changed then.
Yes, that's a very short snippet. It's very cute how they're in love, but also I am British, so I'm a little bit like, oh, public displays of affection, I don't think. But yeah, that's about it. It's quite a short clip, so as you can see, it's very much we take everyone's individuality away from them, and we don't take their style into account at all when styling. And one good thing, as I've watched a few stylist sort of similar shows in the modern day, about a decade or so on, and they're a lot more uplifting. They actually take into account people's they actually take into account people's style when they're giving them makeovers and things like that, and it looks a lot nicer than whatever that was. But yeah, that's what Lolita looked like to the general public around the 2010s, I suppose. Just this weird Bo Peep fashion, I don't know. I hope you enjoyed that ridiculousness. Yeah. I'm gonna go now. Yeah. Bye.